Hey, this is going to be the back to school night meeting the parents. It is Wednesday, August 17th, and I'll go through and cover that information. For the most part, your goal tonight is to get a chance to meet the parents, meet the teachers. It's been a long day, and get to know the personalities, what your kids have to put up with for an hour, fun stuff like that. Your kids have probably come home with stories about class. It's true. There's no way I can deny it. Plus, I record class, so you can always go back and watch a lot of what's going to be happening anyway. Heroes Team Pizza Party is coming up in September. They've not told you about it yet. Not because it's a secret, but because they don't know about it. We just haven't told them because it's farther than a week away, and their concept of time does not go that far. So I'm just telling you guys, so if you need to make plans to be there, it'll make things a little bit easier. And then I don't use Blackboard because I can't do everything I want with it, so I use my own website. And so luckily, MrBroviac.com was available, so that's the one that I use. So you can go on there, and it has everything that Blackboard would have and more, which I'll demonstrate as we get into it here. The Heroes Team Pizza Party. As the kids are transitioning from intermediate school to high school, 7th grade is that last year we get to kind of convince them that it's okay to still be kids before they become 8th graders and they stop talking to adults in general. So we embrace this as much as we can. So for this we have a pizza party. And what it is a chance for you to get to meet the other kids that your kid has been talking to, some of the parents of those kids. Also, tonight, it's basically 10 minutes of us talking at you, but for the pizza party, you get to actually come and communicate, have conversations with us, ask questions. I'll be there, Mrs. Randall, who does social studies, will be there, and then Mrs. Melling, the science teacher, will be there. And you can come and talk to the three of us. It is the 16th. We did it between 5 and 6:30. Our school goes to both HSE and Fishers High School, which means the kids go to both football games, so there was no way to avoid a home football game. It's just the way it's going to work out. We tried to make it early enough for kids who still want to go to the football game can, but yet late enough for the parents who come home from work to join us. And then the price of it, we tried to set it up so that the family will come. It is $5 if just the student comes themselves, but if you bring the whole family, it's $3 more. The idea being, we want the whole family to come, so that's why we set the pricing that way. Now, a couple weeks from now, when we tell the kids about it, and they come home and tell you about it, they're going to tell you we changed it, and that only kids get to come, and you're not invited. That's called a lie. We still want you to come, and you'll get a weekly email from me that'll say, it'll start off with, your child's lying to you, we want you to come to the pizza party. You're like, oh, you. And so that'll give you more information as we go along. Speaking of which, you should have gotten an email from me, because I've been sending out a couple of them. I like technology, and I really like technology when it allows me to communicate with you guys. And so I communicate a lot. And so I will be sending out a lot of information, because the more you and I can communicate, it sort of makes life a lot easier. It cuts out the middleman, because apparently they've done research that says teenagers don't talk to adults a lot. So the more we talk, cuts them out of it sometimes, it helps us out. So I send a weekly email out. It's the same thing they do a lot of elementary classrooms, they do in the intermediate classroom. I like it, so I keep doing it. And so I'll send you a link that has all the homeworks on it. It tells you what's coming up for the week. It'll have the calendar, explain little bits of things going on. It's also one of the easiest ways to contact me. Just reply to that email and it gets you right to me, and I can get back to you pretty quickly. My website, themrbroviac.com. I have $2 of my own coming through HSE, a 4th grader and a 6th grader, and it's driven me nuts whenever I can't access any of the files my kids need for homework, and I try to get on the teacher's Blackboard, or they say they have a website and nothing's there. It's on my website. If it's ever not on my website, send me an email and I will get it on my website before I go to bed that night. It will be there. Everything they could possibly need is on that website. MrBroviac.com, links at the top of it, take you to anything that could possibly be needed. It's one of my pet peeves. I try to hook you up with what I can. To go along with that, I'll skip one down to my YouTube page. I have a YouTube page. I record class every single day, and then I post it to my YouTube account. And the same thing I tell the kids, when I do it, it just records me. It does not record the class. It has a boom mic on it, so it picks up their voices, but it does not pick up their faces for 2 reasons. One, I'm the most important thing in the room, so because of that, it focuses on me. And then 2, there's these things in the world called internet creepers. And if their adorable little faces go along there, I don't want the internet creepers to come after them. they get worried and go, Mr. Brovicast, what about you? And I'm like, I'm old and furry. That keeps creepers away, so we're safe. So it does have their voices, so whenever they ask questions, their questions pop up on there for discussions, but for the most part it's just me and whatever's going on behind me. It does not record the whole class. It just records whatever the main thing is we're going over. Because there's bits of class that are boring and doesn't need to be recorded. But whatever the main content is, I record. I record every day that something's going on in class. I don't record on the days where it's speeches, because that's not going to do any good because they're talking, so I don't record those days. Or if we're working on a project, it would just be recording of pages returning. So those days, I don't record. The main idea is twofold. One, in case a kid misses something in class, they're more than welcome to go back and sort of get the review. But the biggest one is kids are absent. And if you're absent, this is the easiest way to get the knowledge to you. So if a kid's absent, when they come to me and say, hey, I was gone, my first question every time is, did you watch the video? Because that's why I put it up there. I post the video by 2:45 every day. It'll either be posted during my prep period or during best at the end, and it'll be on there. So if a kid's home sick, by the time it hits 2:45, you should be able to have them go on, watch, and get caught up. Between my website and the YouTube page, I have had kids absent for a month due to illness and home things, and they could pretty much audit my class because you could get whatever's going on in class every day. You get all the handouts there. Because of technology, it's easy to hand stuff in. It makes it wonderful as far as now. Wonderful for you and me, not so wonderful for them because it took away all the excuses. So anytime they say they don't have access to things, it's all right there for them. The Remind app. If you've never used Remind, it's awesome. Essentially, it's a way of me sending out little reminders to the kids or to you if you sign up, and I recommend parents sign up for it because it allows you to remind them when things come due. What I will do is I send out a message the day before a homework is due or the day before a quiz or the day before something big is happening, and it just says, hey, tomorrow, poetry homework number 1 comes due. Here's what's going to be on the homework. Here's a copy of the homework. And I can send all that to you. And I'll send it out the day before between 4 and 7 o'clock, depending on what time I can set it for. And same thing for a quiz. I'll send out the review guide, what the quiz is going to cover. Same thing for tests. And it's just a remind that sends out. And it goes through either texting or there's an app that you can use. Either one. If you use the app, it's free. The code for my class, because you have to have a class code, is just the first 4 letters of my name, B-R-O-V. If you want to just use a cell phone, you can just text it, 81010, and then text the @ B-R-O-V, and it just sends it right to you. And it just gives you all that information. It's my way of just giving one more reminder before we have anything going on in class. It helps the kids not forget when things are coming up. iPads, I've gone back and forth. I love technology. I also am a big pro recycler, and so the idea of using technology and using less paper I thought was wonderful. The problem is, kids like using paper. They like having the textile and the touching, and it makes them happy. So I've been trying to find the balance between the two. I went for a while of trying to get rid of all paper in class and just doing stuff with technology-wise, and the kids did not like it. So going to feedback, I'm trying to go back, and we're using the iPad for certain things I think work well for it, but for other stuff, they like to actually use writing utensils, and I don't want to tell them no. So because of that, we're going back and forth between the two. This is my 18th year teaching. When I first started teaching, way back when, I was under the impression I was teaching English. I was wrong. A lot of 7th, 8th grade English, even advanced level, is stuff they already know. Because they already know what nouns and verbs are. They know what similes and metaphors are. They know how to find the main idea. My goal this year is to help them go more in depth and to help them go a little bit deeper and find ways to think. Another big part of it that helps for every kid in 7th grade is making them better people. And so a lot of what I do in class is trying to find ways to make them a better person. And the 2 big things I hit in my class, I'm trying to help that focus, hang on, focus, is choices and responsibility. And so almost everything I do in my class will go back to these 2 ideas. The fact that you have choices over everything you do, and you have to take responsibility for those choices. I don't explain everything like that to them as we go through it, because it's part of the joy of learning is the process. For you guys, you don't have to go through that process. If you ever have a question like, why are you doing this? Just email me, and I can just go straight to this is why I'm doing it, and I can explain it to you. Just my request is, let it be a surprise to them, so they still get the journey, but I can tell you what the end result is. I have no problem with that. There's more. I could talk forever. I'm good at talking. But You have one more class period left. Good luck. If you have questions, let me know.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Very